Hi, today we're talking about Panasonic S5IIX. In this review I'll mention a couple of things about Panasonic S5IIX that haven't been mentioned in other reviews. First, let's talk about audio. Panasonic talked a lot about how they added 24-bit, 4-channel audio, stuff like that, but the problem is they never really mentioned that the preamps aren't very good. I would say they're about as noisy as the preamps on the original S5, if not noisier, but that's not the only problem. On this camera you can choose two gain types, standard or low, and I found that if you set the camera to low, you can hear sort of a clicking noise in the background. You can actually hear it in standard gain type as well if you raise the gain high enough, and it's pretty intrusive. Here's a sample. I'd like to hope that Panasonic can fix this in a firmware update, but realistically it seems like a hardware issue, some sort of interference or something. Next, let's talk about power. This camera uses what Panasonic calls deep sleep mode, and that means that if you haven't used the camera for a few hours, it will take longer to boot up because it preserves battery or something. I don't understand why this can't be switched on and off in settings, because previous Panasonic cameras never had this mode, and they never really had a problem with battery drain or anything. So it can be pretty annoying when you grab the camera, you want to shoot something quickly, and it takes a while to boot up. Now, speaking about power, there is something I'd like to address that I haven't seen addressed before. Now, this camera doesn't come with a charger, and that's annoying in and of itself, but the original charger took 170 minutes, that is 3 hours basically, to charge the battery from 0 to 100%. However, now without the charger, you need to use this cable that comes with the camera, and it takes 220 minutes to charge the camera. Now, that's basically 4 hours, which is forever. So I hope they could fix this in future iterations and provide some sort of a fast charging solution that would top up the battery in maybe an hour and a half. How about that? Lastly, let's talk about autofocus and manual focus. Out of the box, this camera is set to one area mode, and Panasonic did this for a reason. If you choose full area mode, for some reason this camera will always focus on whatever's closest to the lens, rather than whatever's taking up the most space in the frame. Which means full area mode can't really be used to film anything other than humans, because the camera will focus on whatever's closest rather than whatever you want it to focus on. This is easily fixable by using a one area mode, zone mode, or tracking mode. However, I'd like Panasonic to fix their algorithms in full area mode as well, especially seeing that this isn't a problem in photo mode. If you're taking pictures, the camera will focus appropriately on whatever's taking up most space in the frame. But in video mode, for some reason, they chose to focus on whatever's closest to the lens. On the bright side, this camera has great manual focus assist tools as opposed to the original S5. The original S5 had a problem with focus peaking. It wasn't very prominent in general, and whenever you press the record button, it would get even less noticeable. The S5IIX does away with this problem. Focus peaking actually gets more prominent after you press the record button. Moreover, you can enlarge the frame even while you're recording. Now, I've seen some people complain that when you enlarge the image in video mode, it's less sharp than it was on the original S5, and while I agree that it is somewhat less sharp, I think it's still sharp enough, especially coupled with focus peaking, to be able to, focus properly on your subject. And now that you can enlarge the image during recording, it's a lot more useful anyway. That about sums it up. If you found this video useful, please like and subscribe. And maybe leave a comment below if you've got something to say about the camera. See you next time.